Hello again, everybody. Jim Hickey, Bass Fishing Tips on Twitter, coming back to you with another quick video. This time, a little something different. Just kind of reaching back into my past, doing a little remembrance here, kind of honoring a very good friend of mine, my old fishing buddy and partner, Seth Goldstein, still living out there in Colorado land. Uh, Actually, we met when I was living out in Colorado a number of years ago. Met at a local bass shop, actually bass fishing shop, bass tackle shop, and struck up a friendship. And he ended up being one of the first members that joined a new club that was one of the people who initiated starting as an outspring from the Denver Bassmasters. I actually met Seth when I was president of the Denver Bassmasters, but became my fishing compadre, my fishing buddy. We spent a lot of time on the water together when we weren't fishing against each other in tournaments. Even though every time we were on the water it was kind of a little tournament. I usually went in his boat. He was an expert front ender, let me tell you. At any rate, Seth was diagnosed a few years after I left Colorado with MS and isn't fishing so much anymore, but still doing other things he loves. He's a hell of a photographer and still doing that, but I wish Seth the best always. But for a number of years, Seth was president of the Colorado Bass Federation. And actually, in 1991 was one of the years he held the office. And as was customary in those days, Bass brought all the presidents from the various federations to the Classic, which was held during the summer, to have their annual meeting. And so they got to, do what they had to do with the meetings for Bass, but they also had um, like promotional days with the vendors and celebrities and so forth. And in those days, one of the things that was out was these puppies. Oops, let me turn this around so you can see it. Pro League Bass trading cards, and this is from 1991, obviously. Rick Clunn pictured on the front. 92 cards in all. All the anglers fishing the Classic were here in this set, but so were a lot of the common, more well-known pros from those days. So 92 cards actually comprise the set. And where it was during the summer, my birthday's during the summer, Seth, picked up a set of these to bring home to me. But there was one other really cool thing that was done, and I'll show you that here in a minute, with about this deck, and this makes this birthday present, my 36th, somewhat very special. It was part of the stuff that he gave me for my birthday. But at any rate, what do these things look like up close and personal? Well, took a few out here so you can see. Here's one, a young-looking Jerry McInnes. For those of you who don't know, Jerry McInnes had a fishing show for years called The Fishing Hole. Fishing celebrity, TV celebrity. He's also one of the group that ended up getting together to buy the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society from ESPN a few years ago. So anyways, Jerry McInnes and his dog. They look like baseball trading cards, right? Tom Mann. This is the Tom Mann of Mann's Bait Company, one of the people behind that. Came up with the Little George and other lures, the jelly worm, etc. Let me do it this way. Al Linder, originally In Fishing, he was part of In Fisherman, and I think that's what the hat he's wearing in that picture. Later broke away to be Angling Edge, him and his other members of his family. Still out there as a celebrity. John Murray in his younger days. John is on the BAS Elite Series nowadays, a fisherman from the southwest part of the country, Arizona, I believe. Paul Elias, known for deep cranking and for having one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest, string and Bassmaster event history in Elite Series, I believe held on Falcon Lake or Amistad, one of those Texas lakes down there. Lonnie Stanley, who used to fish the Pro Series, but retired a number of years ago and was instrumental in starting Stanley Lure Company, Stanley Jigs, etc. But has since, I guess, gotten away from that business because I believe it was recently sold. And now we're going to get into a set that becomes special real quickly. And this one is special for a couple different reasons. One, that's Ken Cook, retired from bass fishing a number of years ago. Ken won the 1991 Classic, and I'm trying to remember where that was. I think it was one of the rivers back east. Okay, so I also got to meet Ken, as well as Larry Nixon, Rick Clunn, and another guy by the name of Don Seifert when I was president of the Denver Bassmasters in 1984. At that time, the local community college put together something called something university. I think it was Bass University. And I don't want to get that confused with the thing that's going now. But as part of this deal, each winter they brought four anglers to town 4 different weeks, and then they had little seminars like you'll see these various organizations have today. And Ken was one of those people. Pretty interesting guy. He was there on that set. One of the anglers picked him up at the airport, brought him. We all went out to dinner. A bunch of us went out to dinner with him afterwards, so we got a chance to talk to him real closely. Another individual that was in that again was Rick Clunn, okay, one of the more famous bass fishermen out there, still active today. Just placed fourth yesterday in a bass event on Lake Dardanelle, I think down in Arkansas. Almost won. It was only right around a pound out of it, so he was right there in contention, but regretfully didn't hold on to it. Been around for a long time. Rick is a really cool, down-to-earth guy. Another one who I actually got a chance to pick up at the airport and take back to the airport, spent a lot of time with, Larry Nixon. Really, really great, down-to-earth guy. And actually, Larry isn't fishing the bass circuit today. He's fishing FLW. Zell Rowland, I'm going to hold this up there from Mark Easterling at LapBass on Twitter. This guy is big time into poppers, and so is it Mark, so I figured he'd get a kick out of that one. And then other people like Jay Yellis, one of the big names used to be on the Bass Tournament Series. That's one bass behind him, I guess. An old organization that used to be out there, and now he's fishing the FLW Series. Tommy Biffle, okay. Now fishing the Bass Elite Series. But the one thing you want to notice here, these are all autographed, right? So Seth was able to get these things autographed by these various people. One of the hosts of the Fishing University show on Outdoor Channel, Charlie Ingram, who still fishes Bass Opens, I think. Don't see him around very much other than that. Bernie Schultz, another Elite Series pro today. Bernie's been doing real well this year on the circuit. Did well this weekend, and I also did well down in one of the Florida events. Jimmy Houston, very popular TV host, who's also, I still think, fishing some of the FLW events. Gary Klein, still active on the bass circuit. Okay, he was out there this weekend. Doug Hannon, known as the Bass Professor, passed away last year. Going to miss him. He's always full of some great information. Guido Hibden, him and his many members of his family, his son and other members of the family, fishing now the FLW circuit, but used to fish BASS. Jim Bitter, not on the circuit today, was in contention to win one of the Bassmasters Classics around this time frame. I think it was on the James River in Virginia. He's best known for the fact that he went to measure a fish at the edge of the boat, or the side of the boat, on the top of the lid on one of the rod boxes. It measured, but then jumped, flipped back into the water. He lost that tournament by a mere couple of ounces. So that fish definitely cost him the tournament. Tommy Martin, another popular name that's been around for a long time. Now is still fishing FLW. Denny Brower, just retired from the Bass Elite Series last year, now fishing a few of the FLW events. Also just found out, was posted that Denny's having some health problems, so we hope he's doing really well. Hope he hangs in there. Shaw Grigsby, another common popular folk on the Bass Elite Series. And Woe Daves, around for a long time, part of the Bass Pro Shop staff members, also fishes the Bass Opens, and former Classic winner himself. So, the only reason why I did this is, again, because it has some special meaning to me, and just wanted to share with that from the folks. And this set is even more special because about a third of the set is signed. I'm only showing you part of them here by some people who have been around for a long time. You get to see what they look like in the past, because you can definitely see what they obviously look like today. Anyways, Jim Hickey, Bass Fishing Tips. Have a great day. We'll be back again soon.